now?
Right. Yeah. Perfect.
Fantastic, Jessy. So, Jessy, how are you today?
I'm all right. Yourself?
Wonderful. I'm doing great, Jessy. It's a real pleasure to have you on this interview today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. I love yours, Creator, one of my favorite bands.
Yeah, that is my favorite band.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So, Jessy, last Friday, 13th January, released your single and video for Cult of Prometheus. So, would you like to tell me a bit about the song and the making of this video?
Yeah, so it's the first single of our new album that's coming out in May, called Vitriol Inc. It's going to be our third album.
Mhm.
It kind of is it departs a bit from our old sound. We used to be a bit of an old school heavy metal band, and now we're trying to incorporate a little bit more thrash metal. So it's a much thrashier track. The track itself is so it's called the Cult of Prometheus. It's we use Prometheus as a metaphor. Obviously, Prometheus was the Greek god who stole the fire and then was punished. And he's a metaphor for all people that are free thinkers, that have forethought. So we are basically telling everyone that is tired of listening to what they're told, join our cult, come be part of who we are. And you know, I think it's a nice concept. It was a concept I had in my head for many years to write a song like that. And my guitarist had some nice riffs that he put together, and I was like, this is it. It's going down. As far as the video is concerned, yeah, look, it's a very, very low budget video. We got a big black screen, and the concept is they're trying to gag me, they're trying to tie me up, they're trying to silence me. So I come loose, I preach forth my perceived truth, and then at the end, I've gagged them and I've got them all under my spell.
Fantastic, fantastic, Jessy. And Jessy, like you said, on May you're releasing your third full-length album, Vitriol Inc. So would you like to tell me a bit about the songwriting and production behind this new upcoming album?
Yeah, so look, we've in the last 3 years, we've undergone a lot of changes. With COVID and everything, within 8-9 months, we lost 3 members. 2 of them immigrated to the United States, to the United Kingdom, and to the Netherlands. And our bassist left. He no longer had the passion for it, I suppose. So we got new musicians, very, very capable musicians. I think before we were more of a sort of like a little part-time project. We've now got very capable musicians. So we've decided to up it a notch, go a bit faster, a bit heavier. So I think half of the album will be quite thrashy without losing our sound. And then the other half is going to be quite interesting. We've got some Maiden-esque type songs. Then we've got a power metal song. So we've always flirted with power metal, but we've never quite been that. Then we've got this massive stadium rocker inspired by Fear of the Dark and inspired by Rammstein. I mean, I think the minute you'll hear it, you'll hear the Fear of the Dark in it. And then we've even got an acoustic track. And the acoustic track is very, if you think of the old Seattle sound, it's very Alice in Chains, very Pearl Jam. So I like to think that this new album is quite, what's what I'm looking for? Diverse. Yeah, it's quite diverse. Whereas our first album was hard rock, bordering on heavy metal. Second album was straight up 180, 200 beats per minute, fast heavy metal. So yeah, I think people that know us are going to enjoy this. People that don't know us are in for a good treat, I think.
Fantastic, fantastic. And does this whole album has some kind of concept or a theme put behind it?
Not necessarily. So the band itself has got a theme. So when we started out, and I don't know if you're very familiar with our with the albums and the concept. So when we started out, we wanted to have our own Eddie. You know, like Iron Maiden's got Eddie, Megadeth's got Vic. And so our Eddie is a lady called Lady Blitzkrieg. And the whole concept of Deadline is she wasn't Deadline. She gets fired. She returns back to this fictitious city called San Lombardo to kill us. So the first album's Black Wolf City. She arrives at the city and she wants and she starts looking for us. The second album, Cathedral Point, she eventually finds us in this old abandoned cathedral. In between there's an EP we released called Abigail's Crypt, where she's now made her way inside the cathedral to start looking for us, etc. So in all these CDs, there's a little story. So when you open the booklet, on the opening page, we tell a story of how she got there, what she's doing there. And so there's a theme with us when it comes to our merch, when it comes to, so let me see if I can, yeah, I've got a whole bunch of stickers here. And we, actually, hold on. I'll add them here. You know, there's us band guys have got everything. So you'll see there, like, that was one of our singles. She's sitting there. That's a very 80s inspired, sitting in a Lamborghini. Then we did a rip-off on a tribute, not so much a rip-off. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, we did a tribute to Judas Priest, Painkiller. Can you see there where she's on top of a burning? So that's Pretoria and Johannesburg, two cities in South Africa. So she appears on all our merch. So our merch and the band itself has got a story, but the songs don't follow a specific. The title song, Vitriol Inc, is a part of the story, but we're writing about a whole bunch of different stuff. We're writing a lot about cyberpunk movies. There's a lot about war. There's our second single that's coming out on the 17th of February is inspired by the fall of communism. One of the songs on the album is called Ghost of Kiev, which is about that fighter jet that was rumored to have shot down so many Russian planes. So typical heavy metal band. There's a lot of war themes, a lot of history, and a lot of, we really enjoy sort of the cyberpunk. We've got a song about that movie Total Recall with Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Well, the original was Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the original one. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah. Fantastic, fantastic. So how is the touring plan looks for you guys in 2023?
So because heavy metal is a very small genre in South Africa, it's we don't tour per se. We play gigs here and there. So we've got a few gigs at the end of Feb, beginning March, where we're going to start introducing some of the new material. And then when we release the album at the start of May, we'll do a small South African tour where we'll just hit up the major cities, Cape Town, Pretoria, Johannesburg, Durban. Yeah, and then we'll see, you know, if we're able to get anything overseas. Before COVID hit, we were actually going to play in Argentina and Brazil. But obviously COVID then happened, and then we started having the immigrations in the band, and things got a bit unsettled. And, you know, it's a part-time project, so it's very hard to get everyone to agree on things. So we've now hit a good groove. You know, first single came out. We've gotten a lot of streams on it. We've gotten a lot of positive reviews. So we're hoping to just build on this momentum now and yeah, take it from there.
Fantastic. And the band was formed back in 2014, and you have 3 albums with Vitriol Incorporated and an EP. So how has the musical journey been for you guys so far?
Whew, you know, interesting. You know, it's unfortunately, you know, in South Africa, heavy metal is not a big genre, so it's not very well followed. Old school metal even worse. They call us dad rock. I'm joking. So it's obviously a crazy fact, we're the only old school heavy metal band in the country. There's also not many thrash metal bands. There's maybe 1 or 2. The majority of the bands in our country are death metal, deathcore, metalcore, that type. So we are forced to join them a lot on stage, you know, because we can't get a few like-minded bands together to play because we're the only ones. So it's been quite hard, but we've got a pretty good live show which we put on, which entices the younger audience. I mean, there's not one show that goes by where I don't bleed or fall off something, you know. So there's a lot of energy, a lot of sweat, a lot of what do they call it? Blood, guts, and sweat. There we go. That goes into our shows. We have a lot of props. We're very theatrical. Obviously, we grew up on a healthy diet of Iron Maiden, so they inspire us a lot. You know, I mean, we've obviously got budget constraints, but there's always things that we do. Masks. I've got a big 2-meter long chain I swing around. But it's been interesting. You know, when we started, we were already in our middle 30s. I'd come from I used to sing in a Metallica tribute act called Gunship. And we were all a bunch of mates, and the plan was just to play a few pubs, and that was it. And then we kind of we entered the battle for Maiden to win a spot to open for Iron Maiden. Yeah. And then it just gained a lot of momentum. We found ourselves in the final. We didn't win, although everybody thought we were the best band on the night, and that really propelled us. We sadly didn't open for Maiden, but it propelled us, and we became quite popular in the scene. I mean, we're one of the sort of, let's say, top 5 biggest bands in the country now. And we've had a good journey. It's going to be a 3rd album, an EP. We were supposed to open for Judas Priest, but they pulled out 3 weeks before because of ticket sales.
Oh.
So we're very sad about that. But we've played all the major festivals in the country, all the major shows. We've won 6 South African Metal Music Awards. So it's been a good journey. You know, we've got a lot of fans in Europe and in Brazil especially. So, you know, something that we never expected. So it's been humbling. You know, I'm 43 now. That should have happened 20 years ago, but it's been humbling. And I think, yeah, every time we get up on stage, I think we just consider ourselves to be blessed, you know. It's not everyone our age gets to do this at this time.
Amazing, Jessy. And last year, Metal Hammer called you guys one of the challenging heavy metal bands from Africa. So how do you feel about this honor?
Yeah, I mean, I think, obviously, you know, coming from Metal Hammer, it's great. Like I said, I think for a lot of people, they'll listen to our music and they'll think, look, this has been done before. I mean, we're obviously not reinventing the wheel at all, but within a South African context, we're pretty unique because we're the only band doing this, you know. And if you listen to our music, you can hear all our influences in one. You can hear the Metallica, you can hear the Megadeth, you can hear the Judas Priest, the Maiden, the Dio, the Halloween. So we don't in any way want to cage ourselves, you know, and call ourselves a specific genre. We tend to call ourselves the new wave of South African heavy metal, but the reality is we're the only wave of South African heavy metal. But it's nice that they considered us for this because, again, we're, like I always tell the guys in the band, we are playing very outdated music. You know, we're playing music that was made famous in the 80s and early 90s, but we are the only ones doing it. And I think that's it's important. I mean, I think, you know, without those foundation stones of Sabbath, Maiden, Priest, we wouldn't have what we have today. So it's important that you still have bands out there that are keen to glorify that.
Absolutely. Fantastic. And I know the album is coming out in May. Apart from that, do you guys have some big plans for the year?
So, I mean, we're going to focus a lot on marketing the album, of course. So we're doing a 4-single run and then the album. So first single came out on Friday, on the 13th. Second single is the 17th of Feb. Then third single is the 17th of March. Then somewhere in the middle of April, I still don't know the exact date, we're releasing the 4th single, which happens to be the title track of the album, Vitriol Inc. And then the album will be beginning May. And then with that, we'll do a mini SA tour. We will be returning to Botswana. I know we played Botswana before once or twice, and unbelievable place to play. Like, you cannot believe how crazy those crowds go. And then we'll see from there. Obviously, we're going to try and we've been promised. There's a few promoters working on bringing some international acts, and we've been promised some opening slots for that. So we're looking forward to that. We're obviously going to try and get something together to go play overseas. But obviously, we want the album out first because I believe that this new album is by far going to be our best work. And no disrespect to some of the previous guys that were in the band, but the musicianship in the band currently is really strong. And I think we gel well together, and I think we're onto something good.
Fantastic. And I know there has been a lot of great moments that has happened to you guys over the years, but is there something special that you want to share with me today?
Most probably playing Botswana. You know, Botswana is a country in Southern Africa that is not renowned for heavy metal, that's for sure. And we got a chance to go headline a festival there. It was a 2-day fest. We played both nights. It was very poorly organized. The sound was terrible, but it was such an amazing moment because you don't think of going to go play in an African nation like that there'll be so many fans. And it was a community hall, and it was packed to the brim. And it was in a rural area. There wasn't a lot going on. You can see there's not a lot of money there, but the people were so dedicated to the music. We met so many guys that order there. So they're known as the cowboys of metal because all these guys, they make these leather clothes, but they wear cowboy hats. But, you know, and it's so good to see, like, you know, it's obviously growing up, you know, heavy metal is always perceived as a Western form of music. And it was so great to see all these African kids with their Cannibal Corpse, Slayer, Iron Maiden, Sepultura shirts. It was And like I said, it was difficult for us because the sound was bad, the organization was bad. I mean, the first night we were supposed to go on at midnight, we went on at 3 a.m. and we had to drive 8 hours there. We were tired, but when we got up on stage to see the passion of that crowd, they treated us like we were Iron Maiden. Let me just tell you, we had to escape through the side door. It was very humbling. So that was a really nice moment. Something I didn't expect. I'm glad I got to experience that, and I hope I get to experience it again.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing, Jessy. And
No, my pleasure.
And what would be the big dream for the band?
Wow, there's so many. Most probably, like I think there's a little kid in every one of us. When we were in our teens and in our early 20s, we were in bands that never quite made it, and somehow in our middle 30s, we got, we managed to make something work, for better or worse. And I think the little kid in all of us would love a little tour overseas, be it America or Europe, or to play in a big festival like Bakken or Download or Kraspop, or even get the chance to open for one of our idols, whether it's Testament or Accept or Judas Priest, even if it's like 10 dates. I mean, I think that's the dream regardless, no matter how old you get, as a metalhead, we're so dedicated to our craft, and you don't lose that little child inside of you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And finally, what would be the message that you want to give to your fans around the world?
I've got so many. Just to keep keep your eyes peeled on everything. I think we've got a good product coming out. Not to say our previous product wasn't great. Obviously, when you get close to your product, you know what could have been better and what couldn't have been, and it's been such a journey for us. But I'm 100% certain that all our fans are going to love the new album. I'm 100% certain it's going to be their favorite of the lot. And if there's people out there listening to this that have not heard of us, keep your fingers or your eyes peeled, because I think a lot of people that are into old school metal are going to enjoy what we have in store for everyone. Like I said, it's such a versatile album, and I think I'm looking forward to seeing everybody's reaction. So far, Cult of Prometheus has gone down so well. I couldn't have expected it to go down any better.
Fantastic, fantastic. And Jessy, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on this interview. A great pleasure. And thank you so much for putting up an amazing album, Vitriol Inc. this year. Great songs, great work from you guys. Brilliant, epic heavy metal album. And thank you so much for keeping the heavy metal alive. And I wish you and the entire band all success in the coming days, and hope to see you guys on the road real soon.
I would love to. I go overseas a lot to go to Bakken and Kraspop, and I always meet a lot of people from India on the way. We either meet in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, and then we go so I've met a lot of very passionate Indian metalheads. In fact, I wanted to go watch Iron Maiden many years ago at the Royal Palace grounds of Bangalore when they played. I think it was they were the first Western band to play there, and I was so keen to go there because I've got Indian family, so I wanted to go through, but I just never got around to doing it.
You should come here someday, Jessy.
I want to definitely. But thank you for having had me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for giving us the time. We really appreciate it. And look forward to, who knows, maybe we'll bump into each other at a mosh pit one day.
Absolutely, Jessy. Thank you so much. And you have a great evening out there. Take care of yourself, Jessy. Bye.
You too. Take care. Cheers. Take it easy.
Cheers. Bye-bye.